What is going on, guys? It is Will back with another video. This video is gonna be a little different. I've actually decided to actually dive down into individual stocks and critique them. So the first one that I'm gonna be starting off is with Tesla. We heard some pretty crazy news last week. If you haven't heard anything about it, I'll explain it real quickly for you. And we're going to kind of go into detail about this and how this is actually kind of something that could be game-changing to an industry that they've never been inside of yet. So we do know a while back Tesla was, working with the 18-wheelers, trying to get, that's probably still a project of one of theirs. With the 18-wheelers switching from gasoline over to electrical, but obviously there's a lot of factors with that. But if you haven't heard, I believe this was on the 8th or the 9th. I just wanted to get all the details of this actual news report before I shared it live with you, just to make sure I don't, I have all the right information. I'm not just pulling bullshit information from bad sources. So they released something called a Gigatrain, and it's actually up and running. So basically what it is, it's an electric train, but keep in mind, we aren't sure if it's a Tesla engine. We aren't sure, if these are Tesla parts actually involved in this train. I've read a couple articles, and I can't find anything describing that it's Tesla's made engine, blah, 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 etc. Like the Model 3, it's Tesla's engine in there. We're not sure if the train is Tesla's engine in there. Most likely it is, but don't assume without a fact. The fact is, I can't find it anywhere. So we're going to leave that portion of it out. But this quote-unquote Gigatrain began operations in Germany. It's built in a very specific part of Germany, next to the factory they have there. Keep in mind, this area where this train is built, it's very congested, as it says in the article. So I'm going to assume there's a lot of people walking around, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of lights. So they built it in an area where it can kind of save people time, and I'm going to assume save people money. Keep in mind, employees can ride this, and then also passengers can ride this for free. People that live locally can actually ride this train for free. I'm not sure where the stops are, actually. I've looked through a couple reports. I still can't find anything on that. Obviously, later on in the next month, we'll be able to grab more information, but, it's good to do your due diligence on certain things like this. So it offers transport. Mostly the main reason behind it is to the Gigafactory they have in Berlin. Now, Tesla made a factory in Berlin. They also cut down a very massive amount of trees, which they got some backlash for, but they decided to, they're on their road to planting 1 million trees by the end of 2024, so they're making up for that. As their main source of their company is, save the world, cleaner and shit like that. But yeah, so it's actually estimated that 50 tons of carbon dioxide emissions are saved through this way of transportation. That's what I found through all the articles. The main reason why this is important is because if it does, I've been looking through the articles, I can't find anything on amount per mile. My guess is that this does save money, because most of these engines are powered by diesel, but some of them are electric based, but most of them aren't fully electric. There's just certain parts that are electric, but most of it's powered by diesel. So I'm assuming it has something to do with the tracks producing kinetic energy that is able to keep this train powered. Now, if we can figure out a way that it actually cut cost and saves money, it would, which I'm going to assume it does, it could be a big game changer for the transportation industry. A lot of these big companies, they use, trains, like these diesel trains, to transport all their goods from one area to another area. If they could somehow get involved with Tesla and build a train from point A to point B, and they save a ton of money, what's the worst that could happen? So this could definitely be a game changer for the transportation industry. My biggest fallback on Tesla was their motor vehicles. I don't see it being here in 5 to 10 years, but something like this right here, this I can see Tesla never going away if they expose this industry the right way. And with the way they operate, they tend to, when they get in an industry, they tend to take over that industry. This can be a big game changer, guys. So now I've completely I do want to see, obviously, more information with this. I want to see what can they actually accomplish out of this. But I can definitely see this being a long-term stock now. In my opinion, my eyes have changed with this. It doesn't mean your opinion has to change too. Obviously, do your own research. But something like this is, revolutionizing an industry. For example, like when Google came in and, created the internet, something like that. It's just exposing an industry and revolutionizing it to something else. Like they came into the auto industry and they revolutionized into electric cars. They came in and did what they had to do. I hope they get out of it. And also, a couple more facts about this Giga train is it transports about 4,500 employees a day. There is no amount of locals that I could find on any article to state how many travel a day. And this also has 8-hour shifts, 3 of them. So it runs for 24 hours. Okay, so it does run for 24 hours. It's 3 8-hour shifts. I'm not sure if there's a person driving it or if it's... I'm going to assume there's nobody driving it. And, I mean, yeah, this has completely changed my outlook on Tesla. If you really do think about it like big term or long term, if they can somehow gain access, they're already in now the transportation industry. Now, if they could figure out a way to get, into all these companies that transport through diesel engines and expose them and get in that way and show them a way to save money, this can be a really, really big game changer for Tesla. So I am very bullish on Tesla in the long term. I do want to see more articles on this. I want to see, like, because obviously, guys, it's not always positive, right? There's always some negatives involved with. There's always some negatives involved when something is output. There's positive and there's negatives, pros and there's cons. I have the pros, I don't have the cons. Maybe it's too early to look for cons, but we have to keep in mind that there's always going to be cons to this. For example, the electric cars, they're great, saving gas, etc. But the cons are the batteries. There's nowhere to dispose of them. Is this going to be the same thing with the engines here? Is it going to be the same thing? I'm not too sure. But once I get more information, I would love to do another video specifically on Tesla. Other than that, I mean, we can take a look at, like, some of their earnings reports. So if you don't know how to read earning reports, it's very simple. So I'm on tradingview.com. It's personally what I use just because I like to look at the charts as well too. So if you scroll down, you'll see earnings. And then you'll see Q3, Q4, Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever. It's Q1 to Q4. What that means is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. There's 4 quarters out of a year. So if you think about it, there's going to be 4 quarters. That's how it's broken down. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 3 months each quarter. So the estimate is going to be what the financial analysis estimate what it's going to be. They're expecting, right? They're predicting that it's going to be 0.73. And then Tesla will gather all their information and release their earnings. So the estimate, right, was 0.73. Actual was 0.66. So what does that mean? It's 0.07 below expectations, which means it's bearish on the earnings report. There's nothing wrong with that. Analysts could overestimate, etc., stuff like that, but you want to keep this in mind for when you are, if you're in equity, it's a little different. You don't really have to worry about this, but if you're doing like options or you're day trading Tesla or something like that, you want to pay attention to this, because it could most definitely affect the stock. It could definitely affect the stock. So the next earning report is actually in 30 days. If you didn't know, now you do know. And then you can also scroll down. I think this is great. You can see a lot of stuff on here. You can see their income statement, which is how much revenue they're bringing in every quarter. So, for example, you can see here their revenue is $24.93 billion. Net income, which is what they've netted the company itself, $2.70 billion. Revenue is different from net income. Revenue is how much the company makes in total, without liabilities. They have to pay people off, they have to pay buildings off, stuff like that. Net income is all that subtracted out. So the company net incomed, for example, Elon Musk made $2.70 billion. I'm just using this example. The revenue of the company was $24.93 billion. So he doesn't get everything. He gets the net income. Obviously, you pay the employees and etc. and stuff like that. That comes out of revenue as well too. So you can see a lot of stuff here. You can see the net margin. So I mean, look at this. Q4 of 2023. The net income was $7.93 billion. 31%. That's fucking insane. And then you could scroll down, you could see the performance in the past, week, month, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, and the year. I kind of stay away from, the technicals because that's kind of where I step in myself, and where you should step in yourself too. Keep in mind, Tesla does not pay dividend if you didn't know that. And yeah, I mean, so now I do see Tesla being a very long-term stock. It doesn't mean I would put it in. It doesn't mean I would put it in my retirement account, but I'm definitely going to be holding it for longer than a couple years than I intended to because of this. If they're able to come in and dominate the transportation industry, which is one of the big, if not the biggest industry, besides tech. But if they could come in and dominate this industry, they're gonna fucking kill it. They're gonna put all these companies out of business, or we'll see how it plays out. But I do want to see more articles on this Giga train in Germany, and yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, that's all I got. If you did find any information on this helpful, I'm also going to drop the link in the description of the actual article so you can read it yourself. I'll drop a couple of them in where I got the information from. But yeah, you should be doing your own analysis on stocks that you are purchasing. Just because somebody says go and buy Apple doesn't mean you should go and buy Apple. You should actually do research yourself on the company. And have a reason to buy it, because you don't want to go and yell at that then it's going to be a problem if you do lose money. Meanwhile, you shouldn't be risking money you don't want to lose, but this is something that you should be doing, is researching your own stocks. If you have any information, if you want information on how to research your own stocks, how to break down an earnings report, the charting, any of that stuff, I can definitely help you out. Just hit me in a DM. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy your Monday, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. Later.